my fellow adventurers, my name is Alexandra with the Bucket List Mermaid, and today I am here at the very, very obscure Paonia State Park here in Colorado. I'm gonna be honest, I am very hard pressed to find anybody that knows that this exists other than really true die-hard Colorado mountain men. So this is definitely a more isolated one. It's definitely a more basic and rustic one. We're gonna go take a look around. There are 3 campsites and then also get a good look at the reservoir, or what's left of it. It is currently like later August here in Paonia State Park, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm actually the only one here. So I'm not gonna be disturbing anybody making this video. Yay! So let's start off here in the Anthracite Campground. I'm gonna be honest, this is kind of like its own entity. I was very much expecting to at least be able to see the reservoir or like be in Paonia State Park. However, it is not. It's like literally a campground. Here's the entire thing. This is it. This is all of the Anthracite Campground, and it's literally just right here on the side of the road. We were very confused getting here because we were just expecting something else. Not that this is bad, we were just not expecting it. However, I must say that the surrounding area of this campsite is stunning. You're surrounded by a lot of trees, a lot of rolling hills, a lot of forests. They do also have some capabilities for bigger rigs here. I'm gonna take you right now into my favorite site, I think, which is number 23. And I like this site because look at all these trees that you have for shade. You have a nice fire pit, and then you also have this covered picnic table. You're closer to the bathroom. The only thing is that you are kind of in the middle of the campground. However, I just love the shade here. Absolutely love it. It's very, very nice. So while we're talking here, this is one of the 3 campsites found at Paonia State Park. Again, this is the Anthracite Campground. It does have a river right over here, and we're gonna go see it here in a minute. However, I think it has a lot of potential, but it's just not there as far as like a riverfront. Like we were expecting like a riverfront RV spot, and there's just so much dense vegetation and not a lot of access to that river. So you can be the judge of that if this is a true riverfront spot. We can hear it. We can definitely hear it. All of these 3 campgrounds really don't have a lot of spots themselves. You can see right here the number of campsites in each campground, and then also keep in mind that Anthracite is the only one with electric capabilities, and the other ones are primitive or basic campsites. And I cannot stress this enough, there is no water, like not even a hydrant, not even water capabilities. There's literally not even a sink in the bathroom. There is 0 water at this park, so you need to bring your own drinking water. I know that they said no drinking water here, but it was just a little confusing. Like I figured there would at least be like a hydrant that you'd have to like filter first. But anyway, that was just me being a stupid RVer and assuming. So don't assume like me. Be better, bring your own water. Okay, so now I'm going to go check out the toilet. So one of the only facilities here at Paonia is they do have a vault toilet here. And I have to say it's a little confusing because right now I'm actually in a spot. Like I'm in a spot that somebody could stay in, and then there's their picnic table, and there's the walkway, but then that walkway leads to that campsite. So I'm kind of wondering if this is full, how do you actually get here without going through somebody's campsite? I just don't want to annoy anybody, and I just feel like you would. So this is the standard restroom, and since it is unisex, I'm gonna just head right in there and show you. That's it. That's all you got. So through my own explorations of this park, I did find this bigger dumpster over here, and I also found a little secret area. It's a little bit wild, however, we're gonna go because it's the only way you can see the river. Okay, let's go attempt to find this river called Muddy Creek or the Anthracite Creek. I've actually seen it both ways. Oh goodness. And here we are. This is the river. As I said, it feels like it has so much potential. Like it's just so hidden back here. We can hear it, but we just can't see it from anywhere within this campsite. Oh well. It does have a very nice view. Again, these are just some more of the surrounding views. Honestly, the surrounding area is absolutely stunning. And I think I actually prefer the surrounding area more than the park itself, ironically. Okay, this is spot number 20. Let's see if you can see the river from here. Maybe you can see it slightly better. Let's investigate, shall we? Oh, barely. You can see it barely. Okay, but at least you can see this better than what I can see it from spot number 22. So right here is the entrance for the anthracite campsite, and it's something to keep in mind just because we totally missed this. There was a tiny red sign right on the left, and this is right kind of near Keebler Pass. It's like a subsection of Paonia, so it's kind of confusing, but you'd actually go past the reservoir about 5 minutes, and then you would turn onto Keebler Pass, and then here it would be. However, if you have a larger rig like we do, there's not much room for error because you would have one stop to go turn around in Keebler Corner, the RV park right next to them, and if you didn't, you would go down Keebler Pass, and there's actually a 50-foot restriction limit, and even if you were driving a smaller rig, I really don't think that I would want to be on that road. It's beautiful, do not get me wrong. Spits out at Crested Butte. It is absolutely stunning. I'm sure that during the fall, it is unreal because there's so many aspens up there. So definitely would recommend checking out Keebler Pass. However, with a rig, absolutely not. No. And another thing that I do have to say, this campsite is a little bit more basic. It's a little bit more rustic. As I said, they don't have water. They don't really have a lot of facilities or amenities, which is definitely good. However, I think me as a full-timer, if I were to sacrifice all of those things, I would definitely want to feel like I am completely in nature. And it just kind of sucks when you're like right off the road. And there is a lot of traffic here, surprisingly a lot of traffic, because it is the quickest way to Crested Butte. So just keep that in mind, that even though this is very, very pretty, you are right next to a road. So now we've circled our way over to my site, which is number 22. I really do like it because it is right on the end. Our windows all face towards the right over here, so we don't really notice if the park is filling up. We don't have a view of our neighbor. However, we do have a view of the road, so that's a little annoying. However, I would still recommend this site and number 23 if you are going to go in the anthracite campsite, especially if you have larger rigs. I do have to say that you need to make sure that you will fit in this park, because I've looked at all of the max length of this entire park, and it goes from like 10 feet to 70. I don't even think 10 feet would fit our truck. Like, that is tent camping. One thing that I do really like is that these campsites are pretty spacious, especially this 22. It has a very nice, large concrete pad. Honestly, this has been great for doing yoga. Here, this is our entire rig. I know it's massive. Then we have our little cat tent. Now, if you can see, no river. I cannot see the river. I can hear the river. Where is the river? I don't know. Very sad. So I am now heading out to the anthracite campsite, and I'm going to explore some Paonia Reservoir. I'm gonna go see the spruce campsite and also the Hawes apple campsite. Definitely would not fit in there. However, it'd be nice to know, and maybe see if the tent camping situation is really good in there. Starting to see a little bit more of that naturey goodness. Not that I don't love being cooped up in a little tiny campsite right on the side of the highway. However, this is definitely more beautiful than where I'm staying right now. We are turning in to Paonia State Park. Oh, is this tiny? Oh my gosh, the trees here are amazing. They have a nice little vault toilet. The roads on here are very tight, so you definitely cannot have a big rig in here. Absolutely not. However, there is a ton of shade and a ton of trees, so I'm gonna have to give this 2 thumbs up for shade. Just look at all this. Emmy is here along for the ride, so I'm definitely going to have to say that this is a wonderful tent camping site over here. And the spruce, definitely not really made for rigs. I'd say it's more of a tent camping spot, and look at all of this shade that comes with it. So if you want some shade, this is a really, really good option. The cats are very amused by Paonia State Park. Okay, now we are going to head over to the Hawes Apple Campground. This one is on the other side. So this is also where you go to launch your boats. However, there's not much to launch a boat into at the moment. So this right here is spot number 2 in Paonia. I think that during normal circumstances, this would be beautiful because you are right here on the river. However, we're here in August, which I would still say is pretty close to summer, and it is very, very low. Definitely love this spot though. I think this would be amazing for tent camping. So I have to put on my complaining boots just a little bit because nobody told me that the Paonia Reservoir actually is only used for recreational purposes like boating and paddleboarding and all that jazz. It's only used for that in like early summer, so like June and July. Now I'm here in August, which I would consider summer, and I would consider it a good time to go paddleboarding. But all the surrounding rivers and the reservoir is so low. I don't know if it feeds into something else, but it is so low that you can't do anything. So the second I got here, I went up to the ranger and said, "Oh my gosh, tell me how to go paddleboarding." And he said, "You can't." So very disappointing on that front that nobody told me that. So keep that in mind if you are coming in late summer. And here is the Paonia State Park boat ramp. I do find it very funny because it's just going into grass right now. As you see, you would go into the grass right now and it is officially closed for the season in August. Am I the only one that's finding this so weird? Please explain, Paonia. Grr. It's beautiful. I'm just not sure where it goes.
It's narrow.
It's very narrow.
And this is a 2-lane road.
And this is not a 2-lane road.
Oh, it is a 2-lane road.
It is. Yeah, gonna give this a massive thumbs down for big rig access. This is great for tent camping and nothing else. Thanks. PSA, if you are in a rig, make sure to actually turn at the campsite and don't go this way. We thought that there was a little picnic area and it's just a very scary 4-wheel drive road, and we're fine in the truck right now, but if I were towing anything, I think I would be sweating a little bit. However, it just rained, and since we're in the truck, we're gonna drive through this massive puddle. Okay, so we finally got turned around on that really sketchy road that we got stuck on. I feel like that is basically our lives at the moment. Just going on sketchy roads, having no place to turn around, and there's no cell phone service, so we have no clue where we are. So just getting lost. But at least the kitties back there are happy. Okay, so let's talk about some things that I do like about Paonia State Park. I definitely do like that it is a little bit more lesser known, it is a bit smaller, and it is a bit more rustic. I definitely probably wouldn't stay here for longer than a weekend. However, I think it is a really nice, weekend getaway for people who want to explore the lesser known state parks of Colorado. Another thing that I will say about this park that I do really like is I feel like there is access to a lot of really cool things to do in Colorado if you're willing to drive a bit. Crested Butte is again about an hour away over that Keebler Pass. I cannot recommend that pass enough, just not with a rig, but just with your car. Oh my gosh, it is absolutely incredible. The mountain views are amazing. Crested Butte is amazing. We also ended up going to Marble, Colorado. Marble, Colorado is about a 40-minute drive, and it's actually where they mine for marble for a lot of the famous Washington monuments like the Lincoln Memorial and the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, so that was really cool to see. Paonia itself is very, very small. We honestly had to drive to Hotchkiss in order to go to the city market there, but still good. They had some local wineries over there, and we also ended up driving 2 hours and we did Maroon Bells, which was like one of the most amazing hikes in Colorado, and we also explored Aspen. So there's definitely a lot of places that you can go that are near here as long as you're just willing to drive a little bit. Other than that, there's not a lot to do around here and you are going to need to drive. Now let's talk about some of the things that are not necessarily my favorite thing about this park. Not gonna sugarcoat it, no water and no access to water is absolutely brutal, especially for us full-timers, and I stay the maximum amount of time that I can in this park because I want to bring you very in-depth guides and videos. So normally I stay 2 weeks, and I'm gonna be honest, I was really nitty-grittying it here. I don't want to give away the illusion that I am not a lady, because I am a lady. However, I have had to pee outside every day, walk to the vault toilet. I have had no access to shower. I actually ended up just going to other campsites and being like, can you please take pity on me and let me use your shower? And eventually a KOA did, because I'm a KOA member. So thank God for that. Actually showered for the first time in days. It's just very, very rustic. So I would definitely only recommend this for tent campers. The Spruce campground is actually very, very nice as far as shade is concerned, and I would definitely recommend that for tent camping. That's great. Or if you're like a little weekend warrior, you know, you're like a weekend warrior RVer, I think that this is perfect. However, if you're here for an extended period of time, just make sure to be prepared. Another thing that is not as ideal is that there is not a lot of information on this park, hence me making this very in-depth guide because I just had no information, and there were things that I really wish I would have known about this park before I decided to book. And also, again, just watch out for those signs. Personally, I found that the other two campgrounds were very well marked. However, I'm really glad that we didn't turn there, because if we would have turned there thinking that the anthracite campsite was somewhere in there mixed in with the other two campgrounds, I really think that we would have been in a lot of trouble. As I said, this park does not leave room for error as far as driving and maneuvering big rigs. So if you make one wrong turn, you're gonna be backing down a very steep mountain road. Definitely would recommend this for more seasoned RVers and campers for sure. So what do you think? Would you come to Paonia State Park? Would you go for a little bit more of a rustic experience here out in the middle of nowhere with beautiful mountains surrounding you? Or would you rather maybe go somewhere more known that, you know, that has water and access to things? Definitely make sure to comment below if you would add this to your bucket list. And as always, I have a full guide for Paonia State Park, as well as more information that you can actually read on a screen at thebucketlistmermaid.com, so you can further decide, because seriously, I could find nothing. Like, I was just trying to figure out if they had showers or any running water, and I looked and could find nothing. So definitely make sure to check out that guide before you attempt to check this state park off your bucket list. This one's for the hardcore adventurers. As always, thank you guys so much for supporting this traveling mermaid. And if you did like this video, it would mean the world to this mermaid if you could just hit that subscribe button so that I could keep bringing you free content on these maybe lesser known state parks, so that you can be more prepared when you do decide to check it off your bucket list. Thank you guys so much again, and happy adventuring. Also, just a little bit of a PSA. I was out here enjoying my life, you know, just writing and editing some photos and having a grand old time, and I ended up getting bit by something. I didn't actually feel the bite, but it basically puffed up yellow all the way around here, about the size of a dime to a quarter, and then it created this huge lump in my arm. That lump actually swelled up to about like double the size of my arm. It was like all the way out here, and my entire arm turned red, and then the redness would move, and then it would turn yellow, and it just got to the point where I was like calling my doctor, being like, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I have nowhere to go. Nature, take me away. So just a little tip, wear bug spray.